While it is nice to read a book like Democracy in America and admire Tocqueville for his astute observations on America from 200 years ago, let's be honest, I think that democracy itself is a subject that we have grown weary of. We have replaced democracy and our belief in it with a certain cynicism. We're tired of democracy. We think that our vote doesn't really count anymore. And while that is not entirely unfounded, I do think it is not entirely fair. Because ultimately, democracy, even when it has become a fossilized structure in which we think we're technically living in, ultimately it does come out of the behaviors and the values that we ourselves have one to another. And the individual still has a responsibility. Not only does the individual have a dignity inherently, but each of us has a responsibility to ourselves and to our fellow man. And what is happening today is that we see this oligarchy growing, a few who have very concentrated wealth and therefore are able to do a great deal to shape our society. And we are handing ourselves over to them, and we just hope that under the umbrella of them pursuing their interests, we will have a modicum of a comfortable existence. I don't think this leads to good things. We can only look at the tech oligarchy of our day. They are building surveillance systems that they're convincing us are absolutely necessary for us to live in the society, because we have proven to ourselves that our democratic waves have led us to chaos, that there's all these particulars now. We have gathered all this data about ourselves. We've tried all these different things, but it hasn't saved us. So now we're told that if we hand everything over to machines and the oligarch systems, that will be the way to go. And I actually think that we have had certain leaders, particularly in the United States, not just on the presidential level, but elsewhere as well, that make a mockery actually of politics. And I suspect it's intentional, so that it erodes our faith in democracy and that it erodes our desire to participate in politics. Again, I don't refer to Switzerland as a perfect example, but it's an excellent example, and it should not be reduced to a cute, romantic little example of a democratic country. No, it actually still retains a system, a little bit like a highly functioning company, where the shareholders have a voice. And that is what a democracy should be. And I just want to talk against the cynicism that has pervaded our notion of democracy. Democracy is not a romantic idea. It is the expression of our values in our behaviors, and our behaviors determine the state, the government that we have, and ultimately each one of us is called to participate in our local communities and to consider running in larger sized political spheres, because only like this do we preserve what is worth preserving, namely democracy.